fourth grade teachers. This is a quick walkthrough of the Week 1 Language Arts and Social Studies lessons for building our community. You start off in social studies. You're working on class pledges and building that classroom community. Reading workshop, you'll be working on the first part of reading workshop in choosing just right books and doing independent reading. And writing workshop, you'll be doing notebook setup and creating some heart maps and thinking about what you like to read or write. So as a quick walkthrough, let's start with setting up social studies notebooks. There are play pause it videos included with these to set those up. So make sure you watch those so they get added to your course correctly. Then students work into an Engage Your Brain session where they are thinking about pledges and class pledges and how what they think is important to have in that. Just a note about setting up the notebooks. Setting up the classroom notebooks might be something that you choose to start as part of your synchronous lesson, and then you turn it over to students to work on independently. As social studies continues, students will be brainstorming items for the class pledge. One of the things they'll do is they'll watch this video using the book All Are Welcome. Then they'll be sharing in a discussion board and in their social studies notebook some things that they would like to include in their class pledge. Finally, they'll be doing an exit ticket for the pledge and reflecting on that assignment. Then they'll move into looking at reading notebooks. So this is the beginning of the reading lessons. Maybe setting up your reading notebook is probably not the very first lesson that you would want to do, but that lesson is there. Like I said, it might be a great opportunity for you to do part of a synchronous lesson together and talk about your readers' notebooks. But the reading lessons really begin with, what do you like to read? So it's just thinking about how to read a book, what are your favorite topics, kind of like a little reading inventory. Then there's a lesson, a play pause it video on choosing a just right book. Followed by exploring Mac and VIA and other online resources. Timers have been included where it's necessary to help kids stay on task for a longer period of time. And also you'll notice that most of these discussion board, actually all of the discussion board lessons, here's small group, all of the discussion board lessons have sentence stems for students. Then there's a reflection or exit ticket for reading. This reflection exit ticket is very simple. How do you feel about reading? Do you like to read? What's your favorite book of all time? What's your favorite place to read? So these questions just go through some like reading inventory style questions that you can go in there and edit them, change them how you would like. Then students will go to writing workshop. Again, writer's notebooks has been included as part of this lesson sequence. But the lessons for writing really start with the Engage Your Brain. You are a writer. Listening to the read aloud of The Day You Begin by Jacqueline Woodson, and then responding in a discussion board. The core of the writing lessons are about creating a heart map. So there's a heart map mini lesson video for students to watch. That video also would be a great place for you to replace if you made your own heart map video lesson or you had one that you liked to do. And then directions for students to make a heart map and share their thinking. A small group page. This will be a great time, especially in this first week, to connect with students about their heart map and a short exit ticket for writing. How do you feel about writing? What's one thing that you feel you got better with? What do you want extra help with? Why do you think it's important for writers to tell their stories? So these exit tickets were really meant to be reflective questions that build insight into what your students are learning. Then there are a couple of may-do choices. For this first week, there are only 2 may-do choices. For future weeks, they're all filled out. But this is also a space where you could add things that are just really things that you love to do with your students or to have them do for may-do activities, spelling activities, IXL, Imagine Learning. There's a lot of room in here for you to customize what you prefer for your students and what your students prefer. So that was week 1 of Language Arts and Social Studies. Have a great time teaching.